All right, good morning, everyone. It is 8 a.m., so we'll go ahead and get our Brimfield Township Board of Trustees meeting for April 22nd started with a call to order. John, can you do roll call? Everyone, please remember you have to unmute your own microphone so that we can hear you. So, John, you'll have to unmute first.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, Mike, are you in attendance?
Mike, you need to unmute your microphone.
Yes.
Sue, are you in attendance?
Yes.
Nick Coy,
And-
are you in attendance?
Yes.
Okay. Entire board is in attendance.
All right, thank you. We're going to forego the Pledge of Allegiance just because of the video feed. However, we will take a moment of silence, silent meditation or prayer before we start our meeting. Okay. All right, we will move into our first section, announcements and correspondences. We'll start with Sue Field. Do you have any announcements or correspondences?
No, I don't.
Okay. Mike Kostinsky, any announcements or
I'm all good,
correspondence?
thank you.
Okay, no announcements. I do have one announcement. It's semi-related to the township, but I just want to put this out there. With everything happening with the COVID situation, the high school and the school system, obviously, as many of you have heard, is closed for the remainder of this school year. The Big Red Foundation is actually doing an Adopt a 2020 Field Falcon Senior. So I just want to put some information out there about that. They're looking for citizens to adopt seniors that are graduating this year to kind of send them congratulation gifts. It's on their Facebook feed, on their Facebook page, the Field Falcon page, and you can actually find out about seniors who are graduating and kind of send them thank you cards or congratulation cards or, you know, little mementos or whatever. We're just trying to encourage those seniors. This is hard for them. I think a lot of us can remember back to our senior year and how exciting it was to graduate and spend those last couple months with your friends, and they're not getting to have that this year. So I really want to commend that group for putting this together, and I just wanted to help kind of promote some of that information out there and just help as a community support our seniors that are getting ready to graduate and move into the next phase of life. Department heads, do you have any announcements or correspondences?
No.
No. Okay. We do not have any scheduled meeting guests today. Meeting minutes, I think we need to table those because we're not able to sign those.
I would agree. Those are out there they're in the books, but when we come back to live meeting, I'll have the books with all the meeting minutes. But they are all out there. So, but yes, we should wait.
Okay. And we are putting this video feed out after the meeting anyway, so if people want to see, I mean, it's basically live meeting minutes at that point. So, all right, that'll move us to the agenda. I need a motion to accept the agenda.
Well,
I will make that motion.
I have an addition to the agenda.
Well,
All
let's
right.
make a motion and second it and then add the agenda. I made the second. I made the motion.
I'll second it.
So Mike motions, Sue seconds to accept the agenda. Any changes to that? John, you said you had one.
I do. I have under fiscal office amounts and rates approval.
Amounts and rates.
Yes.
Anybody else have something they need added to the agenda?
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right. Purchase orders. I will make a motion to accept the purchase orders. I went to the town hall, reviewed those last night.
I'll second that. I reviewed and signed also.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes,
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Warrants. I will make a motion to accept the warrants. I went to the town hall, reviewed and signed those last night.
I'll second those. I reviewed and signed also.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes,
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Public comments and questions. I have not received any direct email questions. Sue Fields, have you received any from the public, comments or questions?
no, I haven't.
Mike Kostinsky, have you received any public comments or questions?
I did have a couple people from over there by Lorraine contact me with extreme gratitude for us helping get their water situation alleviated. And it was nothing more than me making phone calls. It was Neil Sackett who actually came through and took care of the problem that's been plaguing them for years. Dave Rufner has seen some of it, and it's quite a system they're putting in there. So this township, once again, needs to be very thankful for Neil Sackett for stepping forward and doing what he does with his own money. So,
You know, it's
Well,
great
I
to
got-
see when we're able to get some of those problems solved and citizens step up and help out like that. It's really great. That's what this community is about. And I'm glad to see that that's getting better. Are they close to that project being done, Mike, or are they still?
no, they're still working on it. He's putting in a bunch of catch basins. It's as you know, we had Dave go over there and look at it, and multiple old field tiles were broken and everything. So they're putting in big pipes, which is going to empty all those backyards. I mean, you guys all remember those people coming to the meeting, and
Yeah.
you know, now we're going to have all this water dumping into our system. So hopefully, I mean, we all know there's issues over there. So hopefully, with this new pipe across Howe Road, it'll help alleviate some of it. So yeah, just if you drive by, you can see he's doing a hell of a job.
All
So
right.
we're going to have a lot of thankful residents.
That's good to hear. I'm excited about that. All right, hearing no other public comments or questions submitted at this time, we'll move on to safety concerns. Any safety concerns?
Sue here. I was driving 43 into Kent, and I see that the pool house has been demolished. I'm very pleased to see the eyesore removed.
All right. Any other safety concerns? Okay. Hearing none, we will move into the business portion of our meeting, and we'll turn this over to the police department. Chief, the floor is yours.
Yep, thanks, Nick. I just have a couple of items for the board this morning, a couple of informational items for you, nothing that's going to require board approval or action today. Just wanted to make the board aware, as of today's date, we've had no lost time or any issues as far as COVID-19 with any of our staff or employees. We are still at our normal staffing levels at this time. Also want to let the board know our mobile speed awareness monitoring trailer is currently deployed on Talmadge Road in the 1600 block. That's just west of Sherman. It'll be out there for about a 7-day period, and then we'll find another location to deploy that to after that period is over. We also submitted the application for the Otarma Police and Fire Policy Grant to Wendy French last week. John, I think that check will come from Wendy directly to you at the fiscal office when that comes in, but we submitted that application for the maximum $2,000 amount last week, so that should be pending, coming our way soon.
It will, and when it comes, I'll let you know, and I'll deposit it into the 2192 account.
Okay, thanks, John.
Yep.
Also, want to let the board make the board aware. I had a chance to discuss this with Nick as well. We have withdrawn the police officer posting we had for the part-time position that we originally had posted back in the first part of March. And the reason for that is just we have some unknown variables going forward with the economic impact of COVID-19. So I thought it was prudent to withdraw that posting at this time and revisit that going forward when we have a better feel of the economics. And those are the only items I have for you this morning from an informational standpoint, unless you have any questions for me.
Chief, how is the call volume looking with the COVID-19 situation? Are we status quo? Are we above average? How's that looking right now for staff?
I think it depends what day of the week you ask me that. There's some shifts that are just as busy as we have always been, but I will share with you, and as I've shared with you guys since this started, some of the self-initiated activity has been curtailed, and that's been with intention. So some of those things are down. But I looked at our domestic calls that we've had for service for the months of March and April for last year compared to this year. We're running right about the same as far as the domestics go. I know, although we're not quite through April yet, so the numbers may end up being a little bit higher this year, but not significantly higher from that perspective. I had received a call from a reporter with the Kent Stater who was doing a story about COVID-19 and domestic violence and those types of things. I think may be increasing because of the lockdown, but our numbers are relatively stable, at least in that area compared to last year. But overall, I would tell you numbers close to the same, but some of the self-initiated activities down with some intention.
Okay. I did have, and then we can talk more about this later at some point too, but are we seeing any increase in calls that involve firearms or gun violence in the township? A citizen had expressed on Facebook that there was an increase in this, and I just hadn't heard it in past reports.
Nothing specific that would jump out at me that would warrant bringing it to your attention specifically. I mean, we do get calls from time to time where the people are shooting on their property, maybe doing some target shooting. We get those year to year, particularly when the weather starts to break. I wouldn't look at that and say I've seen anything that's been a spike or anything out of the ordinary. We do get those calls, but nothing this year so far has jumped out at me as being a significant spike in that area.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't pin her down on specifics, but she had addressed that as a concern, so I just thought I would toss that out there today.
Did she have a specific area or address she was talking about?
No, she just said that she asked why I was not addressing the gun violence in our township, and I said, well, specifically, what are you referring to? And she said, well, talk to your police officers. They tell me about it all the time. And I said, well, this is the first I've heard about it. Let me follow up with the chief. And
okay.
I told her I would address that.
Okay.
All right. Anybody have any questions for the chief? Okay. If not, thank you, chief. We will move on to fire department.
All right. Thank you. I don't have much for you guys today. Just kind of update on where we're at. We are continuing to do our new hiring firefighter process. We completed the lieutenant interviews Monday and Tuesday of this week, and now they will move on to the chief's interview. As you know, we're short-staffed because of one of the firefighters that left and moved on to another department with the intent of hiring one anyways this year. So hopefully here in a month I'll have something for you guys to at least put forward and have one firefighter, if not two. And then is the goal. Any questions on that?
No.
Okay. Okay. And then really the only other thing is I know we all get tired of talking about it, but the COVID-19 update, we have 2 to 4 positive tests in Brimfield. So I would say we're on the low end of the spectrum compared to the cities surrounding us and some other places, but Brimfield's still doing good, and we are transporting people that have the symptoms, but we have all the precautions that we need in place to take care of our guys. So that's what's going on there. So other than that, we're just running calls.
How are you and police department doing on PPE supplies? Are we staying pretty status quo?
Yeah, I'm searching, as I said last meeting, daily for stuff, and we're pretty stockpiled on stuff. We've had the opportunity to get masks and things like that made from the community, and I want to say out loud, I appreciate all that, but we are truly trying to buy all CDC approved PPE right now that I can get my hands on. Now it might be a couple at a time or a box at a time, but we do have enough right now. I just want to provide all the proper approved equipment at this time.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. We're in pretty good shape as far as that equipment goes, although we do have some items we requested and ordered through Axon, which is the taser company. They put out an initiative that they were going to be donating PPE supplies to law enforcement agencies across the country. So we submitted on that to get some additional things like sanitizer, gloves, masks, and also through OACP, the Chiefs Association, put out an email within the last couple of weeks as well. They had some companies that were stepping up to make some donations to law enforcement agencies. So we submitted on that as well. But right now we're in pretty good shape on that front.
Yeah, I would still stockpile because they keep talking about the second wave.
Absolutely.
I don't want to get caught with our pants down. So,
No, I'm right on the same page with you, Mike. We are stockpiling, and I will continue to stockpile as much as possible for the whole summer.
and I'm hoping the federal government's doing the same thing.
Well, the unfortunate thing is when you go to order something online, you're seeing shipped right away. Well, then you don't get it for 2 weeks. So we're at the mercy of when it gets to us.
Well, I ordered a thermometer the other day and actually got it in 2 days.
Yeah,
So-
and then the opposite end, I order something and I get it in a day. So you just don't know right now.
Hey,
Right,
Craig.
right.
Hey,
Yeah.
Craig.
Yeah.
Did you see that email I sent to you about a week and a half ago? There was I believe the vendor was supplying H95 masks, and there was some question about whether that would be under CDC guidelines or not.
Yeah, so the approved proper ones are N95s, and they're coming out with KN95s.
Okay.
That are a little less. They haven't been tested to the proper or the standards of N95s. And the emails I'm getting are saying that they think they're going to approve them. I have not seen anything that says they are approved yet.
Okay.
So until I see something, from the CDC or something that says they are officially approved, we can still use them, but we're not going to use them on the firefighters or the police officers. We're going to use those on the patients.
Okay.
But I'll still take them, as many as I can get. So.
And Craig, I know that we've had conversations about the Bedell Corporation and the cleaning of masks. Chief Mosley, are you guys on board with that and collecting those and getting those ready for cleaning and transport?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that as well. Craig's probably going to see more of that usage from his folks than I will on mine, but we are aware of that process and can put that in place if we do need to send some masks to be sanitized.
Okay, perfect. Just trying to make sure we can grab them wherever we can. So
We've put in the paper bag system. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I'm sure people have heard of it, where we use our masks up to 5 times. They go into a paper bag. According to studies, the virus is off in 48 hours, so then they can reuse those masks at that point if they're not soiled. So we have a rotation system going, and until I get enough to send out to have clean, we'll just keep stocking them here.
okay. Any other questions? Fire department.
That's all I had with the fire department, unless you have any questions.
Okay, we can move on to administration.
Okay, the only thing I just wanted to give an update, staff's still giving daily reports, which is good. So I've been in contact with them on what they're doing as far as the admin side. And then on the agenda, I see we have signage, the signage issue. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, so I am. I talked to Rochelle Monday. I want to say she had asked me about the signage, our digital board, and I figured it was better just to bring this to the board to make a decision. I think at some point we're going to need to draft a policy for who can and cannot advertise on that board. We've always said that nonprofits can put it up there, but not businesses. Like daycares, obviously we wouldn't advertise for them. But we're getting questions from churches if we can advertise their church services when those are happening, when they're having special camps, those sorts of things. And so she's received multiple calls over the past week and wanted direction from us on who can and cannot advertise on that board. So I wanted to put that out.
Nick, I don't want to interrupt, but we've already done this 2 or 3 times. There is a resolution out there telling people what to do. I mean, it seems like every year we redo this. John, don't you remember that?
Yes, I do. There is.
So
So tell her to go back and look through the minutes. It's already been, we've already done this.
I can try to look it up too. Probably.
So
easier.
John, we'll need those minutes from you, and then do we want to put it into a policy, or if it's in the minutes?
It's already a resolution. We've gone over this ever since I put that sign in or got the grant.
And you're
Over
right.
and over and over.
We talk about this every year. So.
Yep, every year we
Yeah,
talk about it. Tell her
we
to follow
have
the
done that
guidelines.
before.
Yep, tell her to look it up, follow the guidelines. It's already there.
Okay.
I'll get that resolution number.
John, send it to me when you get it.
All right.
And Nick, I don't have anything else for admin right now.
Neither do I.
Just an FYI about the sign out in front, in case anybody's asking. I'm the one that took the church sign down that someone put in front of the sign the other day, because it's illegal to put them out there in the first place. But in case anybody's complaining, it was a church sign that was stuck in the ground in the middle of the park right in front of the sign. So I went out and took it out and threw it in the garbage bin. So just an FYI.
All right. Anything else under administration?
No.
All right. Then we'll move into zoning. Mike Ladd.
Oh, unmute your mic, Mike.
Mike, in the middle of your screen, there's a microphone button. You'll have to unmute.
Are you there? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. First off, I want to say happy birthday to Craig.
Oh,
I
thanks.
I hear he's 40 today, so I wanted
Yeah,
to wish him
I was trying to keep that quiet. But thanks. I appreciate it.
Your wife texted Kim, and I says, okay, I'll do it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So, since last meeting, I've been working with Mark and Brian to have a BZA meeting in May. I did receive emails late last night from Mark, and I think we'll be good to go. I'm just reviewing everything. And then I'll let you guys all know when we're going to have it. I'm shooting for the third Wednesday of the month, but we'll see how that goes. It might be in the later part of the month. Ryan Holmes, they continue dropping off plans, submitting plans by email. So far, there's 40 of them submitted. We're just waiting on the rest as they come in. Pride 1 has started construction with Redwood. Meyer is still trying to get the store up and running. I know they're having a problem with stock. Comprehensive land use plan. I've still been working with Todd Peets. We're going forward with it. We'll have some zoning commission meetings once we get BZA on board first. Skilled nursing is still going forward. I've been working with the architect and the engineer on that. And then Five Below at Cascades has started construction, and our permit fees are $57,835. As far as signs on the roads, I've been going out periodically picking them up. Last time was like 42 signs that we threw out, so hopefully it's making a difference.
There's a big run of them, Mike, over at the Cascades. I
Again?
understand. I said there's a big run of them over at the Cascades signs out there.
Okay.
I understand if it's one of those restaurants that's out there talking about their delivery, but there are a lot of termite guy, the mosquito guy, got signs all over the place. Jimmy John's is over there advertising, and they don't even have anything in there. So
yeah, I'll pull them.
All right. Any other questions for zoning and economic development? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to road department. Dave, the floor is yours.
Also unmute your mic, Dave.
Now it says mute. Can you hear me?
Good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, 1 minute it says mute, 1 minute. Okay. Morning, everybody. I just want to let everybody know we had to put 15 ton of salt down last week. In a couple of days, we had ice on the roads. We were using the Durapatcher with the weather permitting, but the way all this rain has hit, we had to shut it down and clean it out. The material was starting to gum up on us. We've been cleaning up debris from the storms we've been having, still cleaning up a few spots here and there. we're trying to fix some of these water issues for residents, but some of the issues, there's nothing we can do, like people have houses down in holes in the ground. I've been explaining it to them, but some people, they don't want to understand that. There's just certain situations we can't do nothing for them. We're going to start doing culvert pipes here soon once the asphalt plants all open up. I've been talking with the county. We're working on the updates of the road projects. Yesterday, they were out doing some core drilling on Pembroke and Chapman, for we know what we have underneath the road base. That project, they said they should have the numbers to me by May 1st. And just to let you know, we went down and helped Brimfield Township a week ago Friday. They had a major storm went through there. We went down with a couple guys with the wood chippers and stuff and helped them open up the road. There's probably 50 trees on the road. Us, Randolph Township, helped Suffield and Suffield Fire Department clear the road. Just to give you guys an FYI, if we ever have something like that, hopefully we can get these guys to help us too. Other than that, that's my report. Any questions?
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave, are we are we going to be on track to get some road projects out to bid here pretty soon? Is that what we're looking at after May 1st?
What we're doing is we'll get the numbers. Then I have to get with John to make sure everything corresponds. We're hopefully have them out, advertise them in May and bid them out June 1st or 3rd, whatever the first trustee meeting is in June.
Okay.
So we should have it then.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, Dave, where are we with the Howe pipe that Steve Kohler called? And we talked for about an hour yesterday. You know, that pipe that's going under Howe Road?
Yeah. Right now it's kind of it's still up in the air on what we're going to do with that on that process. With everybody being partial shut down with this culvert thing, it's kind of hard to get guys out there to go over things with you, with the county and stuff. So, but the pipe itself, I've been keeping an eye on it every week. I go check it and make sure it's not settling in more and stuff. So as of right now, it's still holding the way it was. Our biggest concern is if we did the Band-Aid part, we'd cut too much flow of water. And the companies might not back their pipe on that because the strength wouldn't be to the ground, it'd be inside of their steel pipe. So we're looking at different angles on it yet.
Okay, and then Steve said that he had noticed an issue with the pipe. Apparently they had climbed down or whatever and looked into it, where the pipe on the Talmadge side is not all the way down. There's sort of a little blockage to the way they put it in. And I remember you mentioning something about this.
Now, are we talking about the pipe that comes out of the allotment or the big pipe?
Out of the big pipe, maybe down along the Talmadge side where they put in a new pipe and it's not flush. So it's sort of like a little back. Are you familiar with that? I remember us talking about
the big culvert pipe. It's wide open, except for the creek itself. It's got some blockage. But the pipe coming out of the allotment, somebody, when they put that one catch basin in on the Talmadge side, on the south side, the pipes were put in kind of egg shaped. They weren't put in, with the proper roundness to them.
Okay, so will that be fixed when we do the project?
Well, the one project, no. With the other project, yes.
Okay.
That project, the main culvert pipe is our biggest worry for right now.
Okay, now with that increased water from the Carter property, are you worried about that?
Truthfully, it could be a hampering the water coming out of the allotment. Again, it's the flow of that creek. That's where we gotta keep our eye on. See, when they get that all taken care of and drained down, you won't have the massive water flow at one time. So we'll have to wait and see. You don't have the big gathering of water now. You'll have the water moving constantly instead of having gathered spots.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yep.
So we'll have to wait and see.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions for Dave?
One thing, Dave, I have the you'll have Public Works information over here for the culvert pipe over at Malloy and Selnick. The Selnick and the Malloy culvert replacement program stuff. So
Okay,
we'll have to get together. I'll get this over to you.
okay.
Okay.
Hearing no other questions for Dave, thank you. We will move on to Parks and Rec. Cassie, you're up.
All right, I'm trying to control all the cameras and everything while doing this, so bear with me. So I just have a few informational pieces for the board today. So as far as park closures and cancellations, we are doing rental cancellations on a rolling basis. So as of this week, we have canceled all park facility rentals through May 3rd, and we'll continue doing this as the situation progresses. And I would also like to say that I've been walking the parks and I've noticed our citizens doing a really great job of social distancing. Whenever I do pass people on the trails, they make sure to avoid me or at least give me 6 feet of space. So that's really great to see. I am working on getting the permanent occupancy permit for the community center. We are still on a temporary occupancy permit for that. So the next step would be I contacted the original architect, Frank Pavliga, and we just need to revise the plans, the original plans for the building. So the two things that need to be removed from those plans are the original deck that we had proposed and the second upstairs restroom. So I talked to Mike Ladd about this the other day. All I would need to do is just adjust that on the plans and send that over to Frank, and he can redraw those for us, and then we can move on with submitting them to the county.
Cassie, what about that man door in the downstairs?
As far as I know, sorry, I'm trying to do the cameras and talk at the same time. As far as I know, per Charles, that should be okay. We should be able to keep the existing sliding door.
Okay.
So, and I talked to Frank and he said that's okay too. But then the county will need to go back and inspect the building before they give us our permanent occupancy permit. So they may come back and say we need to turn that into a different kind of door. So we'll see how that goes. And then I have been looking at the trails at Lions Park. If anybody's walked back there, it tends to flood. Excuse me. It tends to flood pretty heavily in the spring and the summer. So I'm just researching some natural ways that we could control the flooding and maybe reduce the mosquito population, at least on the trail portion. So I've been consulting with Portage Park District and Andrea Ireland from the National Park Service, who has helped us in the past. So another project that kind of goes along with that is I've been taking a master rain gardener class. I don't know if you're familiar with a rain garden, but it's basically a natural, a garden full of native plants that is really useful in drawing in water and cleaning stormwater and reducing flooding. So, and it adds some beauty to the parks and pollinator habitat. So that's a project I'm looking at, and it may become a volunteer project and possibly a future public program, how to install your own rain garden in your yard and the benefits for the environment. And then my last item is Rochelle is working on a Memorial Day video. So it's kind of up in the air right now whether we'll be having our normal Memorial Day celebration at the cemetery. So whether it happens or not, we thought it'd be a great idea to do a Memorial Day video project. So we are looking at working on that, and her and I are going to get some footage of the township. And if you have any ideas of things that would be good for that video, just let me or Rochelle know. And that is my report. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Okay. No questions. All right. Thank you, Cassie.
Oh, happy Earth Day.
Oh, happy Earth Day.
Yes.
Cemetery. I see we have no action under the cemetery section. So this will bring us to fiscal office, amounts and rates approval. John.
Well, I'm actually going to have to cancel that because I was waiting for Bethany from the auditor's office to get me something and I haven't gotten it. So we're just going to table it till next meeting.
Okay. Under fiscal, I would like to say, John, just to give you kind of heads up and the other two trustees, I had a conversation this week with Anthony Gonzalez's office, our rep for the state of Ohio and DC, referenced the stimulus package, stimulus package 3.5. There was negotiations on trying to get local government funds into that and dispersed to us. They did not make the cut for stimulus package 3.5. But they are expecting them to be in stimulus package 4. Here's where I need help from the rest of the trustees. I've reached out and contacted and wrote to them. John, I think this would be good coming from fiscal too.
Sure.
We want to encourage Anthony Gonzalez's office, and that he is on board with this, but encourage other senators and congressmen that this money needs to be a direct payment to the local governments. What's happened in the past is sometimes it gets distributed to the state gives it to the county, then the county figures out how they're going to distribute it to local government. And we know how that worked in the past with the local government fund for us. So now is the time where we can get them to put some language in there and then try to get the president to redline the document to allow us to have direct disbursement to local government so that we get money, because we know there's pending financial impact from COVID. If people aren't paying their mortgages, they're not paying into escrow, which means we're not going to get our tax base. Plus, we have to worry about the JED dollars too.
Hey, Nick, Tom Kelsey and I last week contacted Gonzalez's lady that does all these stimuluses and stuff. So we're waiting. She's going to schedule a meeting with all of us just so we can talk. Because I don't want to wait. I want to keep pushing this forward. And, you know, if they see Suffield and us working together, you know, I agree with you. We have to keep putting it out there. And,
yeah, because they're starting talks on stimulus package 4 now, because 3.5 is out of the one side of the one side. So they're going, you know, this is just going to keep driving. So conversations about that need to happen like today.
And what Tom and I are concerned about is all the small businesses that are getting, you know, not getting the help that they need. You know, the more you read about in the newspapers, all these corporations that don't need the money that are getting the money, and all the small businesses that aren't. So, I mean, not that Suffield has a lot of businesses, but Brimfield does, and that's a direct impact on us, as you said, in reference to JED dollars, et cetera, and a lot of people on unemployment. And I mean, the big concern is all these, you know, I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know, but employees don't want to go back to work because they're making more money thanks to our fine federal government by paying them this $600 tip, you know, what is it called? Expanded unemployment. Right. You know, you're going to have a hard time getting people to come back. And as an employer, I have but one choice. I notify them to come back. And if they don't come back, I have to take them off unemployment. So, I mean, you know, it's just something, you know, as a township, we all have to be concerned about. You got a group of people that don't want to work. You know, I mean, and then you got a group of people that do want to work. So, you know, something to be aware about.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that was stimulus package 3.5 is supposed to bring additional funding to small businesses, expand those dollars. Hopefully, you know, those businesses are going to be able to grab a hold of that, which will help with the JED some. But once again, we got to look at that stimulus package 4 of how those dollars are going to affect us and getting some relief.
Mike, do you have the contact name for that lady that you can email me?
I'll have to get it from Tom. He told me.
Okay, that'll just help me. All right, and I'll write a letter too.
Yeah, but when we have this conversation, John, I'd like to have you at least in it too. You know, when we put it, you know, we can just do an open meeting on this again. Something we all need to take advantage of using Anthony's office.
You want me to just hold until you have that meeting and then we'll do it afterwards?
Yeah, just hold. As soon as I hear back from Tom, you know, I told him I'd give him a week and then I'd give him a call back. So
well, let me know.
I will.
Do whatever. Okay.
I would follow up with Tom this week, Mike, just because if you have the time, because I know they're going to start looking at that. Like I said, I wasn't talking with the lady from Gonzalez's office. I was talking to the person out of his northern office. As a friend of mine, and we were talking about it. I want to say last night wasn't our second conversation we had.
I'll give Tom a call today. I'll have time.
Okay, that'd be perfect. All right, any other comments or questions under fiscal? We have no executive sessions scheduled for today. With that, is there anything for the good of the order? Any other business that we need to discuss today before we close the meeting?
I just want to encourage everybody, if we notice anybody falling through the cracks as a township, we got to try to do the best we can to help them, or at least put it out. So if anyone hears anything, let us know. You know, I mean, I've been trying to contact older people. I'm sure a lot of you have, your neighbors and friends, you know, just keep an eye on everybody.
Yes, good idea.
Okay, all right, everyone be safe out there. We need a motion to end the meeting.
I will make a motion to end this meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes?
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes,
we are adjourned.
adjourned at 8:40. Everyone out there be safe. Thank you.
Good
Okay,
day.
take care, guys. Bye-bye.